Hey guys, I am 6 months pregnant and I think I'm finally ready to get back in the kitchen and start doing the things that I normally do around the house. Pregnancy definitely takes over your body in more ways than one, and moving was not something that I like to do. So basically I had to come up with ways for us to eat lunch and dinner, especially with us being home all the time and not really wanting to eat out because of all the stuff going on with COVID. I had to come up with quick meals that were also good because I am very picky as a pregnant person. Before pregnancy, it was fine. I would eat whatever and it's okay, but I'm super picky. So today I'm going to show you a simple, quick chicken barbecue sandwich with a side of apples and onions. It's super quick. You do not need any measuring cups because I don't want to measure anything. I hate looking at recipes. It's too many steps. I just want to cook. I want to throw some stuff together and I want it to be delicious. So today that's what we're going to do. Okay, so for the barbecue chicken sandwich, of course you're going to need bread because it's a sandwich. Salt and pepper. I use barbecue sauce. I love Stubbs. This is like the best barbecue sauce. I just love it. It's really tasty and the ingredients aren't that bad. The only thing in here that is unfamiliar, but I've heard of it before and it is not bad, is xanthan gum and guar gum, and that's mostly a thickener. But everything else is everything that you can pronounce. So I love Stubbs. I'm using the original. We're going to use some DIjon Mustard and some Pickles, and we're also going to use some regular mustard. So let's grab that. Some regular mustard. Now this isn't going to go in the chicken sandwich. This is going to go on the bread, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. So this is all the stuff that you're going to need for the chicken, and of course you're going to need chicken. I just wanted to touch that last so I can wash my hands after touching it. And then for our side dish, we'll discuss that later. So of course we're going to need some chicken, and we are going to use some chicken tenders. They're super easy to cook with. I mean, all chicken is super easy to cook with. I don't really like cooking with chicken breast though, because that's just it's too much meat. It's too thick. I feel like I need to slice it, and I don't want to deal with all of that. So let me slide this stuff over. Again, like I said, there are no measuring cups. All you're gonna need is ingredients, because one great thing about this is you can't mess up. As long as you don't oversalt, but you don't want to oversalt anything that you're cooking. But as long as you don't oversalt, you should be good. There's not really much you can do to mess up this meal, which is why I love it. I can throw it together in about, 30 to 45 minutes. And of those 30 to 45 minutes, I'm not doing anything. Prep time is probably about 10 minutes. So anyways, handle your meat however you handle your meat. We don't do much to our meat. I just opened it up. I know we have the debate of, do you clean your chicken? What do you do with your chicken? I don't do anything to my chicken. I open it up and I drop it in the pan. And that's it. Simple as pie. So yeah, the chicken tenders are in there. They're ready to go for the most part. I already have my oven set to 400. I am a 400 person. Typically when I cook anything, I just set it to 400 and it usually works for me. So for the chicken, we are going to do salt and pepper. Simple, easy peasy. Salt just to your liking. I like to do just a little bit more salt. Again, no measuring, so you have to use your eyes, use your judgment. How much salt do you like? Do you not like a lot of salt? Don't put a lot of salt on it. So yeah, there's salt, pepper. We're going to turn it over. And we're just going to do the same thing to the other side. So we got some salt. Again, I'm just eyeballing. I don't want to see a measuring cup. If I see a measuring cup, I may just say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Why are we cooking? Can we just go out to eat? I don't want to do anything. Alright, so there's our salt and pepper on our chicken. I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil on that, and I'm going to pop it in the oven for 20 minutes. Now I like to use the Pompian, I don't know how to say it, whatever, it tastes delicious. I like to use the smooth kind. I used to use Robust, but Robust started to get a little strong. Like I said, being pregnant, I can like taste everything and I can smell everything, so it was just too much. And I actually have a cute little olive oil pourer, however, I can't get this sucker open. So I won't be using that. One day I'll open it. I'll see if my husband can try to open it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just need a little bit of olive oil. Just a little. You don't want to, I mean, when you put the chicken in the oven, it's going to produce its own juices. But it's fine. Anyways, olive oil's on the chicken. It's good to go. 20 minutes. So I am going to disinfect this area, and while the chicken cooks, we are going to start on our side dish of our apples and our onions. I know that sounds like a weird combination, but it's actually delicious. All right, so while the chicken is in the oven cooking, we are going to pop out the cutting board and our apples. I've already cleaned my apples, so we're just going to have some apples. How many apples you want is totally up to you. This is whatever you want to do, because remember, you cannot mess this up. So I'm just going to eyeball it until I have like a, what's this, maybe, I don't know, 11 by 12. I'm just guessing. I don't know how big this pan is, but here's my pan that I'm using, because I don't want the apples on top of each other. I kind of want them spread out. So yeah, I'm going to chop up the apples, and I'm just going to eyeball it to see how many apples I want to use. How you want to cut them is totally up to you. Do you want large chunks? Then you have large chunks. If you want small chunks, then use small chunks. But if you do small chunks, I would recommend not cooking them as long. I don't like chopping a lot, so my chunks are going to be kind of large, which is fine, not a big deal. Of course, take out the seeds. You don't want to chew and chomp down on seeds and have an apple tree growing in your belly. So make sure you chop that up, and then you're just gonna put them in the pan. So I'm gonna chop these. Okay, so the apples have been chopped. I want to mention that I'm using Granny Smith apples. I've never used Granny Smith apples for this little dish, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just an apple. And I also used some Gala apples, but I ended up using the Granny Smiths because you see I ran out of my Galas. So these are my apple chunks. I ended up using 5 apples. You see my chunks are kind of large, and that's fine. Again, if it's larger, you don't you don't want to cook them too long anyway. I mean, you can eat apples raw, so it doesn't matter. It's just more so a texture preference. So we got the apples, and we are going to chop an onion. I already had an onion that I already started working on, so we'll use that. So yeah, I'm just going to use the rest of this onion. How much onion you want is totally up to you. Do you like a lot of onion? Use a lot of onion. You like a little bit of onion? Use a little bit of onion. I've never really learned how to chop an onion, but it doesn't matter, because guess what? It's going to get masticated and swallowed either way. I'm going to chew and swallow, whether there's small chunks, big chunks, uneven chunks. It doesn't matter. We don't have to be perfect. The goal is to eat, right? So yeah, those are my onions. I probably could use a little bit more onions. But it's fine. I don't want to chop a brand new onion just for this. And there we go. Got our onion in there, got our apples in there, looking nice and yummy. And we are going to season them. I'm going to use some olive oil. Again, if you have an olive oil drizzler, please use that, because that would be so much easier than trying to manage your oil portions with this large bottle. But like I said, I cannot get mine open for the life of me. So yeah, just a little bit. Again, you don't want the oil to overtake your flavors from your food. Taste everything nowadays because I'm pregnant. So yeah, just a little bit of salt. Don't need too much salt. It's apples. You want just a little bit of savory and some pepper. Don't need a lot of pepper. Just want a little savory. I'll show it to you when I'm done before I stir it. So there's my salt and pepper, and you gotta get some cinnamon and pour some cinnamon on there. Again, you guys, you see I'm not measuring anything, and we'll be done in a couple more minutes. So yeah, apples, onion, salt, pepper, cinnamon. Grab a spoon, whatever this is, and stir it. And look, we have perfect timing because I have 41 seconds on the timer for my chicken. So it's nicely stirred. Let's take out our chicken and put in our apples. Now I'm going to cook these apples and onions for about 20 minutes. You can monitor it because you really want the onions to be cooked more so. Again, it's apples. You don't really have to worry how much they cooked. It's more so about your texture. Do you want it hard? Do you want it soft? But we're just going to set it for 20 minutes. And I'm going to clean up this mess and I'll tell you what we're going to do next to the chicken. Well, would you look at here? Apparently, if you want something done, you need to make a YouTube video because my husband so graciously put some olive oil in here for me. Isn't that great? But guess what? I don't need it anymore. We're done with the olive oil and we're moving on to the chicken. So here's the chicken. This pan is still hot. I also like minimal dishes. I don't like measuring and I don't like dishes. So the chicken is in here. It's been in the oven on 400 degrees for 20 minutes. And we are just going to shred this. Because the chicken is still hot, we're just going to use a knife and a fork and we're going to pull it apart. When I get done shredding it all up, I'll show you what it looks like. And then we'll get to the actual good part, which is the barbecue sauce. All right. So here is our shredded chicken. I hope you can see that. It's nicely shredded, pulled apart. And now we're going to get to the good stuff. Your barbecue sauce and your Dijon. You don't have to use Dijon, but I like using Dijon, so we're going to use Dijon. So if you don't have Dijon, you can use the regular mustard instead, but we're going to use Dijon. And again, I'm not measuring anything. I know I keep saying that, but you don't need to. The only thing I will say is I'm going to use more barbecue sauce than mustard. So I'm going to put a good amount of barbecue sauce on here. Let's see. Barbecue sauce. Woo! Yikes, I almost lost my whole meal. Yowzers. Make sure you have a grip. Barbecue sauce. Sorry, baby. Barbecue sauce on chicken. My husband would have been so sad. We would have to have gone out to eat. And then we're just going to do a little bit of mustard. And we have our mustard in there and we're just going to stir it. Now after you stir, if you feel like it's not like as wet as you want it, just add some more. No big deal. So yeah, this is not as wet as I would like it right now. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more barbecue sauce. I mean, who wants a dry sandwich, right? Some more barbecue sauce, more mustard, and stir. And this is perfect because we have about 10 minutes left on the oven with our apples. So I'm actually going to throw this back in the oven and let the barbecue sauce soak into the meat. Now while I was chopping up the meat, I tried to get as much of the gristle out as I could. I hate chewing down on stuff when I'm eating, so while you're chopping that, make sure you try to pull those out if you see any. Alright, so that looks nice and yummy. I'm going to show this to you again carefully and slowly because I don't want to spill our lunch on the floor. So yeah, there it is. Nice, moist, looking yummy pulled chicken barbecue. Put it in the oven. Now if you're just doing this with and the timer still isn't going, if like the apples were done, I would put it back in there for about 15 minutes. The chicken was already pretty much done with the 20 minutes. I mean, it was done with the 20 minutes. But I like to overcook my chicken just in case. Don't want raw chicken going in my body. All right. The deliciousness is out of the oven. There are our apples and onions. And here's our barbecue sauce. Remember I said you don't want it dry, you want some moisture. So we did good with that. And now it's time for the best part. We need to plate. Okay, so now it's time for the best part, which is plating. Because now you know what comes after plating, we get to eat. And I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. So I'm ready for this. Now the only thing I'm going to put on this bread is mustard and pickles and the barbecue chicken meat. If you're feeling extra naughty, you can put some butter on both sides of the bread. Oh my gosh, that would be so good. We are just going to pile this barbecue meat right on there. That looks good. All right, so the meat is on there. Next, we're going to get some pickles. I'm using the hamburger dill chips from Publix, but you can use whatever pickles you like. For this type of bread, 6 pickles works great. Again, do what you want, it's up to you. Pickles. And on your other piece of bread is where you're gonna put this yummy classic yellow French's mustard. So let's put that on there. And there you have it. Look at all that yummy goodness. That's gonna be delicious. And of course, you get a knife and spread the mustard around. Now I like to have something green on my plate if I can help it. So I just boiled some spinach really quickly. That is super easy. Pot, water, salt, pepper, spinach, and you are good to go. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our barbecue sandwich, chicken barbecue sandwich with a side of apples and onions. I hope you like it. If you do like it, if you tried it, did it turn out good? Or are you the type of person that you wish I would have gave you some measurements? If you are, I'm sorry. I don't measure anything. I kind of wing it. But it works. Again, you can't mess this up. Just don't oversalt anything and you'll be good to go. All right, guys. I hope you liked our little quick meal that we put together. Please comment to let me know if you liked it or if you hated it. Either way, I want to hear it. Or if you have some recipes that you do that's quick and simple, that doesn't require a lot of ingredients and a lot of steps, because we know I don't want that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.